the police is from the boroughs, man. The
Yeah,
police
for sure.
that all work there are from Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. So back then, you should be able to, but
Yeah.
you're able to talk with them as opposed to the prisons. So yeah, he's both sides of his temples, bro. Bah! I seen this one dude on Rikers Island, man. Them dudes was beefing over the phone, you know what I mean? And dude ran up on the kid with the razor, grabbed his head, and he cut his throat so much, bro. This one died. Cut his throat so much, and then they were beefing over the phone. And he took the phone and tried to stick it in the flap, because when he did it, it was like a flap. It was like he was smiling, like he had the
Like a
blood was
big
coming out
gill.
everywhere, and he tried to stick the phone into the dude's neck. You know what I'm saying? This is the fact. That kid died. But this is the type of stuff that was going on. And just for recreation, like dudes were just catching GP, what they would call, let's catch a GP, let's catch
Yeah.
some wreck, okay?
Yeah, some wreck.
Right. So someone be sleeping on a bunk or whatever. Dudes would wrap him up with toilet paper while he's sleeping and then light him on fire. I mean, this is the stuff that was going on Rikers Island, and this is the stuff I try to get across to these kids so that they understand. You understand that they understand that there's another side of this. There's another side of prison, man. There's another side of jail that other people are not talking about, man. They were lighting people on fire just for wreck, like
Just
no
for
beef.
because they're bored as hell,
Or,
ain't got shit
or
to do.
ain't got shit to do, bro. And then another thing was big thing in there is that on Rikers was dudes used to play knuckles. Okay,
Knuckles.
they used to
I'm,
play
I think
card.
I'm. I think I might know what you're talking about.
Okay, they used to play card games. Okay, you lose. Say you're playing for 5 knuckles, so you lose, right? You got to hold your hand out while the other person takes the deck of cards and he smashes your knuckles with it too. So whoever many you're playing for, if you're playing for 2 knuckles, 5 knuckles, so you lose the card game, you hold it out, you don't look, and he smashes you with the deck of cards. But what dudes used to do is
And them
they
deck
used
of
to
cards, they tough, man. When they
that
hit
ain't
it from the
even the worst
side,
of it.
boy.
That ain't even the worst of it. Some dudes would play knuckles with the bars of soap.
Oh,
So I'm going to hit you 2 times with the bar of soap. Or this is the worst one I've seen was with the scrub brush. Little hard
ah,
wooden scrub brushes. I mean, they broke dude's hand, but he had to do it, or you know what I mean? I've seen that too, where dudes are like, man, listen, man, you're not doing it. I lost, but it ain't happening. And then, I seen the dude, catch more than $150 over knuckles.
yeah,
You understand? This is the stuff that goes on Rikers Island, man. You know what I mean? And the police used to be down with a lot of things, man. The police in Rikers Island, every house has what's called a house gang. It's weird that that's the name, but it's called the house gang. It's when the people go in every few hours. You got to go in and you got to do a count. So every few hours they'll shut the day room down and you go into your cell. Okay, it's count time. It's count. They turn the TVs off. Everyone knows they got to go in their cells and they got
yeah.
to stand there. But the house gang never went in their cells until it was time to go to sleep. The house gang were the guys, maybe 4, 5, 6 dudes, and they were like, dude, clean up, sweep, mop, clean things up. You know what I mean? Whatever had to be done. That was the house gang. You understand? But the
Yeah.
house gang was really like a lot of times, and this is legendary Rikers Island. A lot of times, most whoever was on house gang was like hired hitmen for the
I
police.
was about to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get the job through the police. You know what I mean? If they like you, you become house gang, right? So, but what would happen is if the police didn't like you, you know what I mean? They would sick the house gang on you. So they'll lock everybody in their cells, and then all of a sudden your cell busts open just by itself. You're like, what the hell? All of a sudden 6 dudes come rushing in, and they do what they do. And it's really just basically a hit from the police, man. This is like legendary. This is stuff like the New York Times did articles on, you know what I mean? Like this is stuff that actually, could be verified, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's basically you became like hitman for the police, man. And you made sure that, like dudes is not yelling on their gate, you know what I mean? Because the police want it quiet or something. Then you got somebody yelling and screaming, the house gang would deal with that. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And this is some of the stuff that I seen on Rikers Island, man. Rikers Island was really a war zone, man. Like I've seen
Yeah.
so much violence just in life, you know what I mean? Just in all my experience, but the most violence I've seen, most of it was Rikers Island, man. You know what I mean? Like It
I
was
mean, the
bananas.
damn story with the phone, that's enough violence for, a
Yeah,
lifetime. You know what I mean? Just that
the
one
dude tried to
story in
stick the
itself.
receiver in the dude's neck after he was already dead.
Yeah,
Like
that's trippy, man. I
he
would have
was
been tripping
dead.
out on that shit.
Yeah. This was the life, man. This is just the way it was. This is just a percentage of what I'm giving. You know what I mean? This is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
some of the some of the stories that I've seen. Some of the more dramatic ones. Some of the more So you get a so I could paint the picture for you that Rikers
Yeah,
Island.
that's the key to this whole YouTube game is painting the
Yeah,
picture, my
paint the
friend.
picture. That's
What about the booty bandits, man? I heard there's a few running around in Rikers Island.
Well, not really Rikers Island as so much as upstate, and I talk about that on my thing too. And there was some legendary ones, man. Legendary ones, man. Like
Yeah,
Mother Deer, like Mother Deer. Okay,
Mother Deer.
Mother Deer. Yes, you say that name in New York,
I've heard
everybody.
Mother
People are
Deer.
gonna comment. People are gonna comment most about what I'm talking about right now. About Mother Deer on your thing. People are gonna comment about it because Mother
Oh
Deer.
God, it's notorious like that.
Yeah, Mother
I heard
Deer.
a guy by the name of Hollywood was pretty notorious. You heard about that guy?
Hollywood, Pissy Black, Dead Arm Bro, and Mother
Holy
Deer.
shit. They got damn notorious bandit names
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
man.
Listen,
That's crazy.
those four are legendary and will go down in folk, in history in New York. The thing is that Mother Deer was different than all of them. Okay, now Dead Arm Row was like maybe 6'1", 250. Would tuck his pants into his boots, tighten them up. Dark as hell, like you know what I mean, like just purple dark, right? So what he would do is he would teach dudes boxing, and it's notorious. Another Google situation. He was notorious. He knocked the police horse out. A horse in Times Square.
Stop playing, man.
Yo, Josh, listen to me, man. That's one thing you gonna learn about me, man. I'm not telling. People will verify this down. I'm telling you. He was already notorious, but he knocked the police horse. He hit the horse and knocked the horse out in Times Square. One thousand my kids. This is what he did. So when he came, he was up north. He was one of them dudes that were, I've been boxing since before, but when I saw him actually like hitting the bag, it's a different level. Like he would break bags, boom, boom. So he would take these young boys, teach them a little boxing. Next thing you know, youngins knocked out in the corner, and he done raped them. This Dead Arm Row got hit by a bus in Brooklyn. I believe Brownsville, about pink houses. He got hit by a bus. He's dead. So the next one I'm gonna tell you about is called Mother Deer. Okay, Mother Deer is legendary. Yeah. A lot of people.
Why do I want to say Mother Hen?
No, a lot of people thought Mother Deer made up the 52 blocks. You know what I mean? That the fight. You know what I mean? Because he was nice with his hands and he would knock dudes the hell out, right? But Mother Deer was different than these other booty bandits. These other booty bandits would take the booty. Mother Deer would take the booty, right? Take your booty. But then Mother Deer would make you, screw him. You understand? So most of the booty bandits just wanted the booty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he wanted the opposite.
But he would do both. This was why Mother Deer was so different than the rest of these dudes. Mother Deer got killed, I believe it was in Clinton too. Mother Deer, a bunch of dudes, about 4 or 5 dudes ran up on the Spanish kids, hit him up and threw him over the 3rd floor tier, and he fell down and he got killed too. But this is just legendary booty bandits. You know what I mean? Hollywood, Pissy Black, Dead Arm Row, and Mother Deer. Those 4 right there.
Well, there you go. I think that was just an episode all in itself right there.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Yeah, again, Mother Deer was different. Mother Deer would run up on you talking about, you got to do me. That was the thing in there. It's like, I tell a little quick story on there too. It's like, I seen this neighbor, right? One day he came back to his cell and he had some food on his bed. Okay? He was a young white kid from Albany. And he, instead of no one knew he had the food, he just had the food. He ate the food, bro. He had a bunch of Snicker bars, a bunch of candy, and he ate the food. Okay?
Yeah. Everybody knows not to eat that pillow food.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? He didn't know, obvious. So, 2 days later, dude came to his cell, you know what I mean? And told him, you got that food I gave you? He was like, oh, you left that? Oh, I ate it. And now he's like, all right, well, you owe me now. right? And dude was like, "What you mean I owe you?" Dude ran up in the cell, you know, and turned that kid out. You know what I mean? After a week or two, just, the kid was walking around with lipstick, right? Now, a lot of people who be maybe watching this might say, "Man, you know, so, you know, why you let that happen, right?" Because, you know, here's the reality, John. We don't like those kind of predators anyway. You know what I mean? First of all, they know who to do that to, right?
Yeah.
They know who to push up on, right? That's number one. But number two is, and you know, and I know you can verify what I'm about to say, is that you can't help anybody that doesn't want to do anything for themselves.
Yeah. For
You
sure,
understand?
man.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, he accepted his fate and then went that way. What I'm supposed to do,
Yeah.
right? Because
Typically,
on my channel, a few people like, you know, why did you let that? It's not why I let it happen. You know what I mean? What you want me to do if he can't do anything for himself? Because I've been in numerous of those positions, man.
yeah.
Like, when something happened, I may have gave somebody, you know, a knife or whatever. Like, hey, go handle your business. And they didn't want to handle their business. Well, give me that knife back. What you want me to do? You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So, you know, that was the thing, man. You know, and that kid ended up turned out, man. The kid was running around with lipstick, man. You
Yeah.
know, all because he ate the Snickers, man. He ate the Snickers, Josh. He ate the food.
Oldest trick in the book.
Oldest trick in the book, but you know, some dudes still fell for it, man. They
Yeah.
they wasn't understanding the game. He was supposed to come back, see that, like, you put that on my shit. Excuse me for cursing. You put that on mine, man. I'm gonna take it, throw it out on the tin, like, who put, you know what I mean? You gotta make a scene and let these animals know that you're not gonna be prey.
Yeah.
You're not
For
gonna be
sure.
prey. That's a fact. You know what I mean? You have to be, you have to let this be known. You know, whoever put this on there, whatever it is, you know what I mean? You know, because there's so many of these lions out here just circling, just waiting for the sheep to rear its head. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
that's crazy. It's
it
crazy.
is. It is crazy, man. But that's the
Yeah,
world that's that world now. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Well, let me ask this: were you running with anyone? Were you affiliated with any gangs or anything?
Never, never,
Okay,
never.
now please explain to the people
Yeah.
how it was for someone that wasn't affiliated in any gangs. You're a white dude going into the system where white dudes is pretty much a minority in
Minority, yeah.
lockup.
On
It's
Rikers
starting
Island,
to
it was like
change now,
3%.
though.
On
It's
Rikers,
starting. It's
here's the
starting. The
thing. On
numbers are
Rikers
starting
Island,
to
it was only
rise.
like 3% or 5% white.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
You know, certain cities definitely be way worse than others, but
Right, right.
statistically now, for my audience, go look it up. The whole gap between blacks and whites in prison is starting to shrink and it's starting to elevate.
Right.
Uh, so it's it's
See, but
it's
you
turn.
said the right thing. In prison, it's different. Upstate, it's different.
Oh yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
ratio is about close to the same. But on Rikers Island at that time, I'm saying there was like 3%,
Oh
maybe
yeah,
five
for
percent.
sure, for
And you
sure.
know, you may have a house that's predominantly Puerto Rican. You may have a house that's predominantly black, but you've never had a house that was predominantly white. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
for me, it was a little bit different. I had to, you know, maybe do other, you know what I mean, like to stand out a little bit. You know, number one, I got along with everybody. I'm gonna break it down to you like you were just asking me. I got along with everybody because number one, um, I tell you, I've been boxing since I'm 4, so I was always, you know, willing to throw hands if I had to. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's number one. Number one is you have to be willing to throw it, you know, to be able to fight or willing to. That's number one. And number two is the main reason I tell this all the time, man. The main reason I got through what I did is because of sports. I play
Oh,
I play all
basketball,
sports.
huh?
I'm a basketball player. That's what I do. So as soon as I would get to a spot or whatever, you know, just get on the court and that was it. But you know, when I got to prisons, as soon as I got to a different prison, I would know 4, 5, 6, 7 people there, and they'd be like, yeah, you know, you playing on my team, you playing with me, you know, you
Oh, you
coming
good
over
like
here.
that, huh?
Right. Yeah. So everywhere I went, I got along with, you know, with everybody like that because I played baseball. I was the quarterback in football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Center field in baseball, and I was a point guard in basketball. Like I always had to have those type of positions.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's the way I got along myself. You know what I mean? In the penitentiary, and I was just myself. And again, here in the New York system, it's not so much of a racial divide.
yeah,
Like I said, you don't have to go with with the white guys if you don't want to. You can be who you are. You can be, you know, and again, I had plenty of white friends. Let's not get this wrong.
Yeah.
But if I, you know, the white friends that I had would be the ones that were official.
Yeah.
Okay. They, you know, would be the ones that are willing to, you know, do what I'm willing to do. You know what I mean? Because, you know, here's the reality of it, man. A lot of those dudes were soft, man.
Yeah.
You know, let's just keep it what it is. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes were soft and being pressured and being robbed. And I didn't, you know, I wasn't, you know, I didn't want to be a part of that.
I mean, you didn't have any kind of situation like that when you first came in, like someone trying to take your shit or someone trying to jump you? No kind of scary situation?
Nah. In the beginning, the thing is that when I first went in, I knew a couple dudes, you know, they're from around my way, you know what I mean? And so as soon as I got in to Rikers Island, I did know one or two people, you know, just got cool with them. Now, I wasn't one of those dudes that came in right away, because I see a lot of these shows, man, not just show in general, but just people where they're talking about they went right into the house and they snatched the phone off the wall and told them, whoever got the phone got to come see me, bro. I was on Rikers Island almost 3 years. I've never seen anybody do that. You know what I mean? I've never seen, because when you come into a house, you know, number one, other people have that phone. They're not just going to let you just do what you want to do. So I was one of those dudes that, you know, played the back, watched everything, was, you know, and then eventually, you know, I got my phone time. You understand? I got, you know, and I got situated like that. But yeah, I mean, you know, a few times, like, dudes, you know, looked at me wrong or whatever. And I had to do what I had to do, because the big thing there was, back in the days, was they would try to rob you for your sneakers.
Yeah.
Okay. So the proper thing, when somebody comes up to ask you and they come up and they say, man, what size your sneakers? The proper thing to do is to either punch him right in the mouth, right?
Not
there.
Your size, fool.
Not fool. There you go. or say the opposite. Your size. You know what I'm saying? Like when they come up, what size you wear? Your size. Now what? You understand? And the thing is that I developed this attitude, this more or less the aggressive tone, because I had to adjust to what was going on around me, man. All this violence and all this craziness right away. Like, I didn't just go into there and the first week I was cutting and stabbing people. Nah, you know what I'm saying? I played my position. That's the truth.
You ever have to do that in Rikers?
What? Oh yeah.
Slice someone up?
Sure. What
was that about?
One time, I'm gonna tell you this quick story. So one time I had these Doc Martin shoes, right? Back in the days, right? Bobby Brown, every little stuff he made the Doc Martin shoes popular, right? So I had these Doc Martin shoes. I went to C95 from adolescence, C74. When I turned 18, they make you 19. When they turn 19, they make you go with the adults. So they sent me to a whole different building. I went into this one spot, right? Okay, in C95, and you know, I was all right in there, everything was cool. But this one kid, his name was Arnold. I'll never forget it. Arnold Rojas, I don't care, I'll shout him out, whatever. He, you know, he acted like he was cool with me, okay? Now, he had bing time hanging over his head. So within like 2 weeks, they moved him out the house and he had to go do his bing time, which was solitary. He had like 30 days to do. So they called him one morning, he went. Now, other dudes that I had already got cool with, they was telling me, yo, you know that when you first came in, he was scheming on your Doc Martens. He was scheming on your shoes. I was like, what? Now, I had just left adolescence, doing a couple years in the adolescence, like, you know, and I have all this stuff here that I should tell you, you know what I mean, that, you know, there's the possibility that I was holding it down, and with the adolescence, which is considered wilder than what was going on over here. You with me?
Yeah.
I was like, what? So after 30 days, it just so happened they moved him back into the same house. You understand? So after 30 days, he came back. Now, I already knew, because I already said, man, I see that dude again, you know, I'm going to pop on him. I already said it. So now it's out there. You know what I'm saying? So now when he came back into the house, you know what I mean? Basically, he wasn't suspecting it, to tell you the truth, you know, and I just ran up on him, and, you know, I don't even, and the thing is that's the thing about there. A rumor could get you killed. I don't know if it was true or not.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But in that environment, you can't, when you hear stuff like that, you can't, you know, you don't process things right. You know what I mean? You
kind of just move off of emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, you think off of emotion. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get this dude. And then he came back into there. It was like, oh. you know, and whole lot, you know what I mean? In that particular house, I cut like 3 different people like over that time. Now, I'm not glorifying anything. I'm just saying this was the life that was, that was going on. I had been in there a few years already. I was, semi-known, you know what I mean? And I just wasn't, gonna let anybody do anything. It just doesn't work like that, not with me. So,
yeah. Was there anybody was there anybody ever trying to get you to run with them or anything like that? Click up with someone?
Yeah. Well, kind of. So here's the thing. So this dude came up to me, right? He's home now. And he was like, listen, I want to start it's called the White Knights. This is what he told me. I want to start the White Knights. Okay. I think
I heard of that or something like that before.
I didn't know anything about it. So he was like, listen, but I want you to be the head, right? So I'm like, okay, so what you talking about? He says, I got all these dudes, all the white guys, and we're ready to form, and we want you to be, the head. And I was like, first of all, I knew for a fact that most of the heads of the gangs and most of the heads of anything, they end up in Florence somewhere, or they end up somewhere like this is just the way it is. At that time, I done read enough books, I done read enough Donald Goins, enough Iceberg Slims to know that any gang leader usually, something negative happens. So
for sure.
I said, okay, so what's the philosophy? The philosophy was he just wanted to get all the white guys together and and form this. That wasn't my philosophy. My philosophy was if I was gonna do anything of that sort, it would have to be dudes that were official. Like, I'm not just taking you on the team just because you're white. You understand? Yeah. I'm not going to take you on a team just for the numbers game, which is I know a lot of states do. I'm not going to take you on the team if I seen you already get smacked and robbed. Like, why? And then why you won't claim the White Knights if you're going to be a reflection of me? You understand? It doesn't make sense that when something jumps off that, you have this clique with you and 80% of them are going to run. Like, what's the purpose of that?
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I never, I told him, nah, man, I ain't doing that shit. I'm not doing that. And, and it never happened, but, again, his philosophy was to get more. My philosophy was just to get, even if it was 10, just to get, 10 solid dudes. But, it never happened. And, that's the answer to your question. Those are the only people that I ever, really, that really asked me to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The White Knights.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened with him. He's home now too.
All right, man. Well, look, you got a lot of damn stories, man, and you got a lot of stories on your channel as well. And I do want to have you on for a part 2, talk about the prison scene. Tell me a little bit about your channel, the people that are watching, and the name of it, so they go check it out.
Okay, yeah. The name of my channel on YouTube is called Tales from the Pen. Just like it's spelled. Tales from the Pen. P-E-N.
Hey, that's a good name. That's better than my name.
Nah, not better than yours, man. Not better than, you know what? You could just Google it. You don't even got to go on YouTube anymore. Like, you can actually just Google Tales from the Pen and you're going to see me, right?
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. And what I do on the channel, man, is I speak about my 16 years of experience in the penitentiary, and I do it in a way, again, not to glorify anything. I'm here not to glorify my experience at all, because it was miserable and and it was horrible, and I do it in a way to deter. I'm really doing it. My motto is I do it for the kids. I do it so that these kids understand that there's more to it than stabbings and tattoos, right?
Yeah.
There's different aspects of it, and on the channel I have and a motivational words episode. I have a straight law edition episode. I even have a special daddy-daughter episode just for the dudes who have daughters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with prison, right?
Yeah.
But again, I do it in a way so that these kids understand, maybe through my experience, that they don't have to go through and suffer the way I did. And that's what my channel's about. Tales from the Pen.
That's what's up, man. I'm going to leave all your information pinned in the comment section, description of the video for people to go check it out. And I love to see other convicts doing their thing, man. And trust me, a lot of people might say that and don't mean it, but I truly mean it, man. I try to uplift all the channels I see, the newer ones popping up left and right. There's a lot of them now, but
there is.
I have no ill will.
which gives you more content, or gives you more able to pick out which ones you want to, really mess with too.
Well, I have some good ones. I have some bad ones. Like I said to you, I don't like to hear anybody's story until we record because it's authentic. I want my shit to be as authentic as possible. Whether, even if that means, the person that came on probably wasn't the best guest, but it is what it is, But
I got you.
A lot of these prison channels popping up. And this
but
is
I just real quick, I want to stop you. And I just want to say thank you, man. I want to say, because you're like a pioneer in this, believe it or not. Like, you're like somebody who started this and you took it to a next level, man. And you gave other people hope. You gave other people inspiration, man. And I just want to give you a big salute, a big, big shout out, man. And I appreciate what you're doing. You man, keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man. And I'm gonna keep going till the wheels fall off.